Okay, so welcome everyone. We are already in the month of March, so that means that this is the month that we start traveling and going to Montreal on the 27th. And so many of us are working to get our tickets organized for that. What I'd like to focus on today is getting organized with your clients. My understanding is, I think I left a little bit early on the last call, but my understanding is that we have 3 groups, and I think we have one group of 1 right now, which is James with the Walmart Mexico, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
I am by myself with co-parent.
Okay, Patrick, have you joined a group yet?
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing.
I can't actually hear that.
Oh, you guys asked me to follow up with
Okay, I can hear that. Patrick, I believe, is going to join Sophia's group.
Sophia's group for the Copert.
Yeah, that's right.
Is
Yeah.
that the right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we have one group of 1, which we hope to remedy. We are in process with UDLA, Universidad de las Americas Puebla, and they will be hosting us for the second half of the week that we're in Mexico. So we'll probably, I believe we're going there Wednesday, midday Wednesday, to Friday, early Saturday. They are on the quarter system, so the students are now registering for their spring courses. So Deanna Guzman is our partner. She can't make a lot of these Skype calls. She's going to meet with James later today, this morning. She's in the process of recruiting students from UDLA. So we're not 100% sure whether we'll get the students or not, but certainly if we do get some, I'm hoping we'll get 2 or 3 students from UDLA, in which case we would assign them to the teams. So one of the things that I want you to bear in mind is we're really in a startup mode with NAFTA. This is our 2nd year, and we have long-term commitments, 5-year plan with UQAM to keep doing this, with UDLAP, with the Mexico City campus. We have a lot of international partners who are interested in this. We have one university in France that's looking to get involved for next year. So we're building this up, and the ideal number that we're shooting for is 8 students from each university, and we will achieve that, but right now we're still in the startup mode. So one of the things I think is very important is that we take a very flexible and adaptive approach, especially in terms of the group work and shared responsibility. So yes, you do want to focus on your group that you're working with, but I do need you to be open to shared responsibility for the other projects, and of course you will get credit for that. So for example, as we, the next couple of steps which I want to talk about are you contacting the companies to get secure a commitment, a work plan, start to define the project, and that's what we've got to do over the next 3 weeks. And it takes time to do that, as you all know. You have to make appointments, you have to get agreement, they have to get agreement from upper management, then you have to find the project. There's a lot of steps. We're hoping to complete that in the next 3 weeks. So by the time we're traveling on the 27th of March, we need to have the projects defined. So the design of this program is that when you are in the encounters and meeting with the business people, that you are in the mode of looking for answers to the dilemma or the conundrum or the challenge or the opportunity that you're working on for that company. So, we need to get that closely defined. And once we do have those defined for the 3 clients, which may end up being 2 clients, okay? Because these things, until they're secured, are not entirely secured. And there can be obstacles, legal, etc., that would stop a project. And hopefully we can overcome that. And that's part of what we're learning in this course, is how to negotiate with managers and top managers around new business development. Because, we have to bear in mind that new business development is by definition kind of scary. It upsets the apple cart in some ways. So, that's a negotiation process. So as we're going through this, we may stay with 3 projects. That would be ideal. We have some high prestige clients and some very interesting clients. That would be ideal, and that would be the goal. But we may drop down to 2, and we may have to reconfigure our responsibilities in the groups. Now, the other thing is, even if we stay with the 3 projects, the shared responsibility, the shared learning concept, we want to learn from all of the projects. And if there are some areas of overlap, for example, let's say certification, green certification in Canada is something that applies to both Copert projects and Bombardier. Well, then maybe one group member will be an expert in the green certification process in Canada and what's involved, and that person will work with both groups to answer those questions and to bring that expertise to bear. So that's the kind of model that I want: shared learning, shared responsibility, and some shared leadership around these projects. And on that note, I do want to just give you a heads up that in the week that we will be in San Diego, we will have the Bright Green MBA, which is a special program, MBA sustainability program here at Alliant. They will be acting as consultants. It's a group of 4 or 5 students who are in their completing their Bright Green MBA. They will be consultants for the week in San Diego to your groups. So part of what we'll be doing is giving them a defined piece of your project and saying, look, go research this for me, or go find out, about that, or talk to some people in industry. So that's something to bear in mind, and we can start, once you have the project definition, we can start interacting with those Bright Green MBA students and assigning or asking for some expertise in some of the sustainability areas. So that's basically something that you want to keep a flexible, open-minded attitude, and we really are one big team in many ways in this project, and we're in the startup mode. And if you know any experience in entrepreneurship, everybody has to wear many different hats when you're in the kind of a startup mode. So those are some thoughts that I wanted to put out there. I'm open to comments or questions. And let me see if I make sure I have the chat open if anyone's chatting. Having trouble getting the, okay, let's see. I don't really see anything in the chat right now, so let me know if there's something there, maybe read it out. So, questions, comments on that?
Dr. Kelly?
Yes?
Sophia, I was able to contact Melissa Pamela Monroe at Copert.
Yes, wonderful.
Yvonne gave me the information because Yvonne and I got in touch earlier on this week, over the weekend actually. And we got to talk about the project a little and expectations she has. I put some of that up on the blog. Mm-hmm. Melissa is looking forward to working with us, and she would like for us to define the project like you mentioned. And she also has certain expectations she has from us. So during the course of this week, we're working on that during the course of this week. And working on my Spanish and her English.
Oh, wonderful. So, yes, let's, make sure that I'm on track to give you feedback on that as well, because I know that they talked about two different projects, and I felt that one was, more promising than more NAFTA focused than the other. So I don't know if you're in between those. Are you discussing both of those projects, or have you chosen between them?
Not yet.
Okay, because my understanding was there was one about the reducing the packaging that they're sending out their materials, and that could be a good project, and that would largely be in Mexico, and that's a worthy project, and because it's got a Mexico focus, you'd be looking at standards in Mexico and supply chain in Mexico and distributions, etc. So it could be very interesting. They also spoke. She also spoke of exporting of bumblebees to Canada and the U.S. And that would be also a very strong NAFTA project as well. So those were the two that I understood she was looking at. So you just want to make sure that it's got a good NAFTA focus.
Okay.
And we definitely want to make sure that I'm commenting on that. So if for some reason I'm not in there with the blog, then make sure you get my attention one way or the other. Text me or email me or call me, or make sure we're on the same page with that.
I'll be sure to do that.
Okay. How about the others? Have you contacted your client at this point?
Dr. Kelly, this is Sofiane speaking. I'm just gonna speak on behalf of myself and Yvonne. We tried to Yvonne tried to contact Mr. Mendoza at Bombardier, Mexico, and according to what Mendoza is saying, he has 8 projects, but the projects are not necessarily a fit for what, according to him, for what Dr. Kelly wants and what Bombardier Mexico has actually 8 projects. On the other hand, I wanted to ask you, because I asked James before, since I'm based in Quebec and Montreal, and I know that the corporate office of Bombardier is here in Quebec, is there a way that we can get a contact here in Quebec and Montreal with Bombardier, so I can probably get in touch and go to see them here in Montreal myself and see exactly what we can get, maybe a different project than that they have in Mexico? I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely open to that. I don't particularly have a contact. I don't know if in Bombardier in Montreal, I'm not sure if Vincent does. I mean, we could certainly check with Vincent Sabourin. Let me ask you, did you get any sense of what those 8 projects are? Did you get any sense of what they involved?
He didn't necessarily specify, but I don't think that it's really NAFTA connected, according to him. We can still ask him. I don't know if he wants to give us all the projects that he have, and then we will discuss them with you and see what's the perfect or the suitable one that we can get according to all the information that we have. And we wanted to do our project in for like a NAFTA project. We can do that too, and I can contact Mr. Sabourin here in Montreal to see if we can get us in touch personally with the Bombardier corporate office here in Montreal and see what we can do about it. But according to Mr. Mendoza, it's not the only project he talked about was the photo cells installed in the companies. That's the project that he was talking about. But he said that it was not necessarily what Dr. Kelly wants.
But I'm just wondering if there was a miscommunication. I'm just wondering if I didn't communicate well or he didn't understand well. Because the photo cells, did he specify what that was about?
Yeah.
Did he say what that was concerning and any details on that?
Well, but basically that's what he thinks should be the closest concept maybe to a NAFTA project.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know if Yvonne is texting. Would there be a value in me following up with him?